Don't sign that. The whisper sliced through the elegant clatter of silverware, almost drowned by the soft hum of violins echoing through the chandelier-lit banquet hall. The billionaire paused, fountain pen hovering above the crisp contract laid neatly before him. He turned his head slowly, eyebrow arched, and met the wide eyes of a trembling waitress at his side. Before we move further into this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. Let's dive in. The woman leaned down, her voice low but urgent. It's a trap. Gasps rippled across the long dining table. Powerful men in tuxedos and jeweled women with practiced smiles froze mid-sip of their wine. At the head of the table sat the billionaire's closest associate, a charming man with slicked-back hair and a too-polished grin. His hand clenched around his glass, knuckles whitening. "Excuse me?" the billionaire said, his voice calm but sharp, a storm lurking beneath velvet control. The waitress swallowed hard, glancing around nervously. She had no business interrupting, no right to speak in this room of power. But her conscience burned louder than her fear. "That contract, it's not what it says. I heard them talking in the kitchen. They're planning to strip you of your company." The associate laughed, smooth and dismissive. "Really? We're going to take business advice from the help now?" He leaned forward, his smile slicing at the edges. "Sir, she's just trying to make herself look important. Let's not ruin this evening over a silly interruption." The billionaire leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing. He studied the contract, studied the woman's shaking hands clutching her tray, then studied the associate's grin that didn't quite reach his eyes. The room's air grew heavier, thick with anticipation. Because what they didn't know was this: the billionaire hadn't started life with silk ties and gold cufflinks. He had grown up in the back of a rundown diner, his mother serving coffee to truckers and factory workers while he washed dishes. He knew the weight of a waitress's warning. He knew that truth often came from those ignored. He set the pen down. The associate's grin faltered. "Sir, what are you doing?" The billionaire's voice dropped, steady as steel. "If she's lying, it'll be easy to prove. But if she's right, then this room is filled with snakes." A hush spread. The billionaire tapped the contract. "Read it aloud. Every clause. Right now." The associate stiffened. "That's not necessary. We all know what's written." "Humor me," the billionaire said coldly. A bead of sweat slid down the associate's temple. He hesitated, then reluctantly began to read. At first, the words sounded ordinary, discussions of mergers, partnerships, growth. But buried deep within, in sly legal phrasing, was the dagger. A clause transferring controlling shares, effectively stripping the billionaire of everything. Gasps erupted. Wine glasses trembled in startled hands. The billionaire's jaw tightened, fury flickering in his eyes. He turned his gaze on the associate, whose face had gone pale. "You invited me here, to my own table, thinking I'd hand you the keys to my empire without even noticing." His voice rose, booming now, each syllable sharp as a blade. "You thought money made me blind, but it only made me watch more carefully." The associate stammered, searching for excuses, but the room no longer listened. All eyes were on the billionaire and the waitress who had risked everything to speak. The billionaire stood, towering, and slid the contract across the table. With one swift motion, he tore it in half. Then again, the paper shredding under his hands. The sound cracked through the hall like thunder. The associate leapt to his feet. "You'll regret this," but the billionaire's glare silenced him. Security, already sensing betrayal, stepped forward, gripping the man by the arms. He struggled, spitting curses as they dragged him from the room. The billionaire turned back to the waitress, whose breath still shook, eyes wide with disbelief at what she had done. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek black card. "What's your name?" "Elena," she whispered. He pressed the card into her hand. "You saved me millions tonight, Elena. But more than that, you reminded me to listen. Come see me tomorrow. I don't think you belong serving tables. I think you belong at a bigger one." Her mouth fell open. Around them, the once judging guests now applauded, some rising to their feet. They weren't clapping for the billionaire's fortune. They were clapping for the courage of a waitress who dared to speak truth to power, and for the man who had listened. As the billionaire sat back down, he raised his glass. Let this be a lesson to everyone here. Riches can blind the greedy, but never the wise. The room echoed with applause, the sound reverberating through the chandeliers as Eleanor stood frozen, clutching the card that had just changed her life. And the moral was clear: courage speaks in whispers, but those whispers can save empires. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.